All right, we are going to get started into more partying, y'all. We have an amazing evening set. Not only do we have the panel, but we also will have Q&A where you can ask what you need to ask and also be able to network again at the end. Can we give it up for our amazing panels, even before I introduce them? I'm honored to be here, honored to be asking you all, getting your experience and your wisdom. So I'm going to start with letting y'all know what the title of tonight's panel is, Navigating Calling in a Noisy World. All right, y'all. Today we had a bunch of distractions. Distractions going to come, but the calling will be the same. And so we're here with people who are walking out their purpose and calling. So that's so exciting to see it come alive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce who we have, and let's show each person as much love as possible. They came out tonight on a Sunday evening to pour out into this room so that we can receive. So first we have the one and only DJ Randy P on the panel here. All right. Now Randolph is also, he's known as DJ Randy P, a creative force in music and sound. He transforms every event with his artistry and technical skills. So let's make some noise for him again. All right. Now we know the next person here is Mr. Shawndré. Okay. He is a force to be reckoned with. Not only is he a worship leader, he is a trendsetter who recently dropped one of his first singles and is making waves in music, not just through church, but in the world. So let's make some noise for Shawndré. All right, I got your name. I'm going to get it right. Okay, Beaudeline. All right, she said, yeah, me and you, we friends, girl. All right, all right. Hold on, y'all my cars might have went past me. Hold on. Helps and help. Call. I'm sorry, that's unprofessional.
All right, take your time.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You know, because I'm prepared. I have it on my phone.
Yes.
All right, because I'm prepared, I had backup just in case my notes try to fail me. All right, thank y'all for y'all patience. All right. So now the woman of the panel, and we're gonna go crazy for her, is a designer, a creator, a worship leader, and a believer who builds experiences and tells stories to invite purpose. So let's make some noise for Beaudeline on our panel tonight. Y'all, we are in for a treat. I have a round of questions that I'll be asking, and I'm gonna mix it up. So some of them are specific, but some will be for the crowd. So meaning anybody can come at it, anybody can answer with your experience. Are y'all ready? Okay, Randy was trying to peek at the questions. He said, what you gonna ask me? Can I know? I said, nope. Be surprised. So our first question of the night for Randy is, how did you find mentors or opportunities you weren't qualified for? Yes, sir.
So how I ended up having my number one mentor was I had a job and I was working in that job, but I think what happened was I tried to excel in that job because in my mind, I wasn't gonna work on that job that long. So let me climb the ladder as far as I can go to prepare me to leave the job. I actually used to tell my mentor, I'm only gonna work here 1 year. I ended up working there for 22 years, y'all. But at that 22 years, I was looking at all their blueprint and doing everything that they do. I try to implement my business, you know, so that's kind of what happened with me.
Thank you. Okay, we going, there we go. Thank you. Now, Dashon, I ain't forget about you. We done met earlier, okay? The people got me right. So we're going to welcome our last panelist, Dashon Forrest. He is a bold voice in faith-driven entrepreneurship. Okay, that's a lot of authority right there, okay? Founder of Clown and Around Entertainment and architect of Realms Conference. He is a speaker and author and pastor who helps lead others with purpose, ministry, and marketplace, y'all. Let's make some noise for Dashon. All right. So now, since we're on you, I'm gonna mix it up and I'm gonna ask you, when you hear the statement, counting the cost of an opening a closed door, what do you think of and how does it relate to purpose? As for Dashon, he got the mic.
Be the hardest one.
Okay.
Repeat the question one more time for me.
It says, when you hear the statement, counting the cost of opening a closed door, what do you think of and how does it relate to purpose or your purpose?
I would say the term counting the cost, I look at it as you just got to know the steps. You got to have a plan. You got to know what you're walking into when you're trying to open that door. So being intentional, I hear intentional, and really just going in, knowing what to do and how to maneuver it. So I feel like just intentionality would probably be the most important piece of that, and really having plans. Because some people say, I'm going to knock a door down, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but I ain't got no plans. So
Help us.
I feel the preach coming on me. See?
Okay, I said,
That's
all
it.
right, there's
But
a word.
no, just make sure that you have a plan, you know what I mean? So we all want to be millionaires, we all want to be successful, we all want to be wealthy, but we don't have no plan. We can tie the scripture, write the vision, make it plain, we know that. So just being intentional, have a plan. So count the cost, really count the cost, literally. Count how much it's going to cost.
That's good.
All right. Well, I think I want the whole panel to answer that one because I think everyone's cost has looked different, especially because we have a diverse industry up here. So, Beaudeline, if you don't mind answering that question, it says, when you hear the statement counting the cost of opening a closed door, what do you think of and how does it relate to your purpose?
Excuse me, guys, I'm a little rough around the edges.
It's all right.
So
Keep it real.
my reading comprehension skills may be a little off today. You said counting the cost of opening
A closed
a
door.
closed door.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Ideally, like, meaning what has it cost you? So ultimately, if God hasn't sent you somewhere and you want something to work out and you want it to happen with your idea and your way, how have you counted that cost in your journey of business?
Okay, so this is something that is now open for me, but it was closed before.
It could be either one, just based on your journey.
Counting the cost.
And which cost I want y'all to know? Which cost I want y'all
God,
to
it's been
know?
a long travel day. Okay, so counting the cost of a closed door. Yeah, so what I will say from past experiences is chasing after something that my character is not like ready yet for.
Wow.
Right? So, for example, I think you could speak more on this, you passed the... When we're chasing platforms, right? Or we may have a gift and depending on the church or depending on the community that you're in, if they don't have the necessary resources, they're quick to just put out that gifting on stage, right? Or wherever they are, they're applauding you because they need people. However, have you been pruned yet, right? So the cost for me is like the pruning process of the Lord refining your character, refining myself, like finding my heart. Is my heart in the right place? So the shedding looks different in each season, but chasing after something that I'm not saying it's not what God has in store for you, but you may just not be ready yet. It'll come in due time. So I guess the cost is the pruning.
Oh.
That's what I'll say.
Okay, noted. All right, Shawndré, what you got for us in that question?
I think before I say anything, I just want to give some context to how I'm probably going to speak for the whole of the night. We have a lot of spiritual context that we understand, so for a moment, I'm just going to speak to our pragmatic, practical selves outside of the spiritual context for people that might be watching and so on and so forth. I think the first thing I would ask myself is, why is the door closed?
That's good.
You can't develop a strategy on how it needs to be open, if it needs to be open, if you don't know why it's closed. Whatever your faith system or system of belief is, you might believe that God has that door closed. And so that means opening the door will require God's assistance to open it. And so maybe it's not something that you need to pry open. But when I consider counting the cost, I don't think that many of us realize how costly it is to sometimes the communities that we are building to pursue your dreams.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I literally was having this conversation on the way up here. Sometimes, while trying to build something, you come to a crossroad where it's, I either build this and run the risk of not having the friends and the family in the way I thought. Because I'm trying to pursue the most honest and truest version of myself. And in order to exist in this world, I have to put out the truest version of myself so that it can be reflected back to me. Otherwise, I find myself feeling incarcerated inside my own person. And so, in this journey, for me, I count the cost, not material cost, not those things necessarily. Being an independent artist is a lot of budgeting, a lot of budgeting. And so that's really one of the low-level costs, budgeting, but sometimes you have to consider, do the people around me have the stamina, the fortitude, the maturity, the wherewithal, the bandwidth to handle the fullness of me?
Wow.
And if they don't, it's not a dig, but prepare yourself. This is for me. Prepare yourself to live a life where the relationship dynamic that you have with these people might look different. When you make a clear, declarative announcement about who you are, your truth offends everybody else's lie. When people require for you to remain dishonest and partial, or not your full self, the moment that you start to say, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, this is what I pursue, you now run the risk of having what was once comfortable. And so when I consider the costs that need to be counted, I consider how much is it going to cost me to continue to lie, and how much will it cost me to tell the truth? And to both there is a cost.
Okay, profound. I'm telling you, I like each person's answer so far has been profound, but also gives me your individual perspective. And so I think that's the beauty of having everyone answer it. So now, DJ Randy, how can you approach that? The cost that you've counted, being married and being in the industry and entertainment.
Well, to be honest, y'all, God actually made me prepare. He prepared me to handle a situation like that. I'm actually a consultant. I'm a strategic planning consultant. So everything Pastor said is exactly what I would tell y'all. You know, you have to have a strategic plan, and you have to have people around you that can help you cultivate the plan that God give you. So for me, it's already built in me. I learned the art of strategic planning. Just like I said earlier, I had a job working somewhere that I didn't want to work. So in my mind, I said, I'm getting out of here. And every November, I used to make a little plan for myself. This is the goals I had next year, not knowing that I was doing strategic planning. I actually got invited into a strategic planning meeting, and I didn't even want to go. And when I went there and I seen what they were doing, I'm like, that's what I do every year. I set goals for myself, and sometimes I would achieve the goals, sometimes I wouldn't. But it's kind of put in my DNA to solve problems. I actually have a degree in electronics. So now listen, I didn't understand this when I started doing strategic planning, but now I understand. All my life I've wanted to solve problems. You know, that's what really makes me happy, to solve problems. And I'm an entertainer, y'all, too, as a DJ. I see y'all dancing in the crowd. I'm trying to solve a problem. How can I keep Mr. Ian dancing? So I'm trying to solve this problem here, not realizing that's in my DNA. So I agree with Pastor, you know, starts off with the strategic planning, and the end of your question is that God has built me that way. So that might not be the answer for everybody, but guess what? We can teach you. We can teach you strategic planning so that you can achieve your goals.
Okay, we achieving goals. Let's talk about the goal of the money, okay? All right. What's one thing you all wish more young professionals understood about negotiating pay or pricing their services? Okay, they say it's all about money. Everybody got an answer. All right.
When it comes to having a business, you have to know your worth. That's the end. You have to know your worth. And what is your worth? Am I the only one? Like, for instance, for me, I'm a Christian DJ. It ain't that many Christian DJs, so I know my worth. People call me, want me to do a gig. You can get a secular DJ that don't know nothing about gospel music, or you can get me that knows everything about gospel music, because it's what I do. But guess what? That made my worth. That changed my worth to compare it to a regular DJ.
Okay.
That's really good, but I would also say for like new entrepreneurs, you got to climb before you try. I know some people, they want, they got all these high honorariums and I charge this, but you got to also get there first. So don't come off the gate like, oh, I'm going to charge $1,000 for it. No, you ain't there yet. So so that's the reality of it, though. Honestly, because you'll scare some people away. You can charge $300, and then maybe 2-3 years down the line, you can go up to $800 and go to. I know you know your worth. I know you're anointed. I know you're talented, but you ain't there yet. That's the reality of it. You know what I mean? So build a following, get some rapport, get some reviews. You know what I mean? Let your name circulate. Then you can get there. So I think sometimes younger people, we so quick to like, oh, I know my worth and da 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 da. I know you know your worth, but not yet.
But that's a part
Divine timing. Timing is everything.
Their experience is, your experience is a part of your worth. If you're just starting, then don't have the experience. In my case, for 43 years, I've been an entertainer, so.
Okay, he said my worth is up. My worth is up. That's what I heard, the worth is up. No worries, you gotta tell me, hey, clock it, I saw that in the map, okay, clock it.
I'm gonna piggyback off that. And I'm gonna talk about, in retrospect, if you have like, let's say you're a small business owner, you're good at a craft or something, right? I'm just gonna say you're good at balloons or you're good at making floral arrangements. It's something that I hate when I see someone's prices are high, but when I look at their craft, it's poor, right? So it's very beginning. So it's like, I get it. You should get some honest people around you in your circle that's gonna say, if you didn't know me, would you pay for this? And would you be okay paying for it? It sucks when you see a new, like for example, a new hairstylist or a new lash tech on the block, right? And then they're charging so much for a sew-in or for their curls. And then you look at it and you're like, oh my God, no, everyone's gonna laugh at me. Like I can't go to her. And you're gonna be mad that you spent your money, right? So I think when it comes to pricing, especially if you're in a trade or a field where your craft is what's speaking for you, you need to have a circle around you that you can go to and compare. Like honestly, go there and ask for a session. Like, go here, you tell me, like, do you think this is good? Do you think this is worth it? Would you charge? Would you pay for it? Now you have some friends who are, if you have a friend who's naturally cheap, don't talk to them. Don't ask them for their advice. But that's something I had to learn from the get-go. Like, I loved starting businesses with anything that I could do with my hands. Anything that I could do with my hands, I would try to monetize it, right? But then I had to learn, like, hey, if I'm gonna go do a balloon garland, I can't be charging $500, $600, and the clusters aren't even right. Like, the balloons are see-through. Like, you're not even buying high-quality balloons to sell to the person for their event, and you're trying to charge that much. Now, there's a difference when you have the skill. You may be just starting off new, but your skill exceeds other people who've been in your trade for a long time. I think you should, the problem here is now that you may not have the network, or you may not have the social proof or social authority in your community yet. So use bartering, right? So find someone that you know who does have that pull in whatever community you're in or whatever target audience or market you're trying to reach for. If you know someone, this is the power of networking, right? If you know someone who could connect you and be like, hey, you don't have to pay me for this service, but let me do this so I can showcase at your show. So then now I have other people that's gonna come in. You have business cards. I remember one friend, I did luxury picnics, right? I think I did something for her for free, or she's a harpist. She came and played at one of the luxury picnic events that one of my clients booked, right? They ended up booking her all the time. She didn't charge me, just so that she could showcase her work there, right? And then for doing that for her, I ended up getting clients, NFL player clients, right? Just because of that one barter system, right? So like, play that to your advantage. You may be really good, you're the hot stuff, but you just started. You don't have a good following on social media yet, or you don't have people who actually know your name, and so you don't have to do as much marketing. It's like, yeah, basically use what you can. Get scrappy. That's my thing, get scrappy, yeah.
Okay, she said fun about it, get scrappy.
I don't know that I have much of a different perspective from everybody else up here, but I will say, I just think it's important to be careful of the trick of money, especially when you're like at the early stages of building. I understand we live in, a capitalistic world. We need money to pay our bills, to survive, to thrive. I get it. But I also think that when you start talking about money prematurely, it starts to rot your passion for what you do. And passion is the ultimate mobilizer. Passion is our fuel. And so passion and discipline are going to be the fuels for how long, how far, and how well you thrive. But I would just ultimately say it's important to monitor how much you are thinking about money in the earlier stages. I think your compensation is experiences and networking and relationships. I just did a big concert last weekend, and it was pretty easy to kind of pull some people. It was pretty difficult in many ways, but it was pretty easy to kind of pull some people and some resources together, because over my 13 plus years of doing music and kind of being in this space, I had a Rolodex of people that I could say, oh, this person could do that, and this person. And so you don't realize that those relationships that you're building, put them into your Rolodex, and you know, continue to genuinely foster relationships with these people, not for the purpose of, oh, I can use something from you one day, and when you genuinely foster those relationships, you'll find fostering those relationships into currency. So you'll find out, you know, when you're in a space and you need to pull some things together, those relationships that have served as, that relationship building that has served as currency for you, it'll really come in handy, you know, when you least expect it.
All right.
I think he said what I was about to say. I just basically say, whatever you're doing, do it well, right? So let's say you're giving something, you're charging way less for something that you're doing, but still do it with your all. Present it like how you would do it if the person was paying you double the price, right? Even give more. You never know. That experience that they had could bring you more clientele or bring you more experiences or increase your relationships, because now people know you as someone who's going to give quality. Money isn't the first thing that you're chasing for. It's chasing after is because you love what you do, right? And you put your heart and soul into it. And so a lot of times that also brings more people and more relationships. Like you said, relationships are currency.
That's great. Okay. We got currency and relationships, the money currency. But I think when I hear each of you, I know that there is a story that's unfolded. And so I think for the first person, maybe they're just starting out today. What did your first step, because you know that you're in your purpose, but what was that first step? What was that moment? Was it, I got on social media? Was it, I wrote down every step? Was it, I talked to somebody, I prayed? What did that first step walking into your purpose and believing that you could do it look like?
I think that's my question.
Okay, she says for me.
Okay, what was the small steps? I'm gonna give a little backstory. So the family that I come from, I think every single person has just been blessed with some type of creative talent. I don't know what it is, I don't know why, but even though I didn't even really consider, okay, that sounds terrible, but you know how you have aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone in your family, you don't really necessarily know what they actually do with their life, right? It's not until you get a little older, and then you start asking questions, or you're talking about what you want to do, and then you start hearing all of this stuff that they used to do, right? And you realize, oh, this is low-key generational, right? So growing up, my aunts, all of them have a hand in the event space, right? So they're all vendors. They can be vendors for any type of space, etc. So my uncles, they're either real estate developers, they're entrepreneurs, they own multiple companies, or they're like fintech people, financial spaces, all that stuff, right? All of these things that I didn't even realize that growing up, when I would go with them to, like, let's so say my uncle just bought a new telehealth place, or and he said, oh, I need some people to come paint the building for us, right? Paint the walls, me and my sister. I didn't know that that was his company, or that's what he was building, right? So growing up, I just always had those people there. So when it came time to now, COVID-19, we couldn't do anything, couldn't go to work, really, couldn't go to school. Well, yeah, whatever you were doing at the time. And I still needed to make some money. So then totally forgot that my uncles and them, they went to school for photography, right? And then I just was like, let me just take some pictures, right? People still needed grad shoots to graduate, like for college shoots, right? So then I started doing that. My friend just let me do it for her, and then it turned out really well. And then I went and just, let me get the money I have and buy a camera and buy a lens. Let me start taking photos. Then I started getting bookings. Just because one friend just was like, whatever, let me do it. Let's just do it. And then after that, I was like, okay, this is going well. My other friend had a need for some way to celebrate her birthday. She couldn't find anybody because everywhere was closed. I said, let's do a picnic. And she was like, what? And then she showed me that. I was like, I think I could do it. She was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, if you let me. She was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Then we did it. It's like for 30 or 40 people. Like those long picnic tables outside, everything. Did the balloon garlands, we did all the decorations, custom, everything. She just gave me the money and we went with it. I posted the video on Instagram. I got 300,000 views, or was it 300,000 or 400,000 views? Yeah. And then I just went viral, just like that, randomly. Next thing you know, I just started getting people requesting. Then that started what is Treble Visuals Creative Solutions, LLC. And that started the whole dream of like, let me do everything in the creative event space. All because I was like, yeah, you know what, there's nothing to do. Let me just help my girl out. That's my best friend. And then, but it's something that I realized I had a passion for. I love doing it. And I just did it without the expectation of getting paid. I'm just doing my homegirl a favor, but we're gonna do it big. And once we did that, I just started selling out. I went back home because it was COVID. So I decided to go back home, and my sister can attest to it. My dad was like, talking about, Beaudeline got 3 jobs.
That's okay.
Yeah. But the 3 jobs was, I would go gig doing photos, or I would gig doing picnics, or I would be doing balloons. And so I would just be moving. I didn't have to work. I stayed 1 year. I didn't need to work, I didn't do anything. I lived off all of the income that was coming from that. So just that one small step of just doing something, luckily for now, I can't say that it was just all by myself. Like I said, I grew up watching people. My aunts used to do balloons. My other cousins and them, like, they're all our vendors. They'll do like the cakes, or they'll do little favors, or they'll do all the stuff that you need at a party, right? So we grew up kind of seeing that. My cousin's here. My other aunt, she's a hairstylist, right? So anything we get our hands on, we just learned from the people ahead of us. And just by like pulling on to the things that I saw from my environment, and then one day I just did it for a friend, that one little small step, I feel like I'm being long-winded now, was able to launch me into what I'm doing now. So God is good.
Thank you. Okay, I'm coming to your family. Y'all do everything. I'm coming to your family. All right, anyone else want to take a stab at that question before I do the final question?
Can you ask the question one more time so I can make sure I'm understanding?
Talking about your first step in your journey. So whether it could be this current journey that you're on, what that first step looked like, or when you first started, like you said, 13 years of history, what that looked like once you're like, this is my purpose and I know it, now I'm going to step into it. What did that look like?
Yeah. Prior to taking a step, Randa, I think for me, and I don't know if this is a privilege that I had that other people don't have, but I saw the vision for my life. And this, to this day, is what compels me.
Wow.
This is what, in some environments, makes me stubborn. Because I know what I saw. I'm convicted and committed to what I saw. And I've been in a lot of spaces where people try me. I mean, the long way, okay?
Is that why you wearing Timbs?
No, I've been in spaces where like people will, and when I say try me, let me give context to what I mean. They see what I have even tried to be humble about. And they try to make it into a pet. They try to suppress it. They try to minimize it. And it happens very often in the form of like microaggressions. But they are very clear about who I am and what I bring to the table. Now, I would never violate my destiny by entering into a room unclear about who I am.
Come on.
And so because I saw a vision of my life early on, and I know a lot of people kind of are in this, and I'll speak to maybe people who are like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But for me, I know what I saw. I'm compelled by what I saw. I'm committed to what I saw. And I think I have the tools and the resources to bring it to life. I think the people who are unsure and they don't know if they have a purpose. Anybody ever felt like, God, I just don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what direction, like, just hands real quick. Anybody ever felt that way?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with
Let me just for a moment say this. I believe that God was so intentional to ensure that nobody was on this earth without a purpose. There is not a person in this room that does not have a world-changing purpose and a world-changing identity. That means something about you can shift the terrain of the world.
Come on.
The moment that you lose sight of that simple truth, you don't have to know the specifics, right? The moment that you lose sight of that specific truth, you kind of get into this this space where you're like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. And so then you start focusing on the specifics. But if you have a clear understanding and vision of yourself, and that is, I am a world shifter. It is easy for you to approach anything, any career, any industry, and shift it. Understanding that our purpose is not limited to an industry. But typically an industry is just for a vehicle, industry is just a vehicle for us to mobilize our purpose, whatever that is. I believe I am here to empower people to stand in their truth. However I choose to go about that, it will be great. But I have a clear understanding about who I am and what my passions are and what my talents and my gifts are. And so I use all those things to literally continue to climb the ladder of success, of development, of strategy, of networking, of building. I just remain clear about who I am and a little stubborn.
And a little stubborn, it's the Timbs. It's all right. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. Dashon, this is a time that I want us to leave our final remarks. So what is something you're like, hey, I know I needed this in this room, and you can leave that tonight in this room. So what's something that you would say to those that are here?
What was one thing I would say? What he said, give it up for me. That was amazing.
I know.
That was amazing. What would I leave? I would say relationships. I think someone piggied on that. Relationships is one of the highest currencies. So you need relationships. When I talk about relationships, even just in business, you know, how you close out chapters, how you deal with vendors, how you deal with customers. So just make sure you're intentional to build great relationships, especially in the early stages, because those relations, I mean, we've been in business for about 11 years now, and some of the people that we, you know, clients from, you know, year 1, year 2 still come back now and refer. So relationships is everything. Try not to, you know, of course we know that certain people in your life for reasons and seasons and all of that stuff, but how you close a chapter is important. So, oh, I don't need them no more, that season of my life, no, but make sure you close it well. I see a lot of people, oh, I don't need them no more, and I don't do that no more, this, and, you know, they trash them or bad mouth them and all this. So just make sure that you're intentional to just treat relationships right and close your chapters well. Close your chapters well. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. All right, DJ Randy, what's one last thing you would leave this room with?
Well, one last thing I would like to leave for y'all is that if you feel like, can I stand up? I'm short.
It's your stage.
I can't. I'm an entertainer that's sitting there. I was like, what in the world?
He said I'm an entertainer. Okay.
But one thing I want to leave with y'all is this, that if you have a vision, God puts something in your heart, you can achieve it. Now, you have to figure out how to achieve it, but you can achieve it. Kind of like, this is what I do when I wake up in the morning. I just start walking. And guess what? Sometimes, I'm giving you an example. Sometimes, but guess what? The vision, I see, it's where I'm going at. This is where I'm going at. Sometimes I had to pivot. When COVID hit, y'all, I was shut down. I wasn't working at all. Y'all know that. Nobody had no party or nothing like that. So, you know, stay focused on your vision. If God give you something, like you said, the people around you, you might have somebody around you don't believe in your vision. It could be your brother, your sister, someone real close to you. If they don't believe in the vision that you know that God's given you or that you have special in your heart, you might have to just like, you know, hey, I'll talk to y'all later and stay focused on your vision. One last thing I want to say, when I first started, this is how I started DJing. My parents bought me turntables in 1980. I was 10 years old. I didn't know nothing about DJing or parties. They went to parties, but I'm just a kid. I don't go to no parties. So, I'm in the bedroom playing the thing. So a year later, we moved to another town. The town we moved to is called Cambridge, Maryland, and that's like a party town. So when I moved there, I was the only kid with turntables because everybody else was grown men. This is 40 years ago. And so now every weekend in the park, we out there mixing, then, you know, break dancing and all that. So, you know, I didn't realize who I was becoming as being a DJ. So someone said, hey, just get Randy to DJ at our party. I never DJ at a party. I asked my parents, could I DJ? They said, you could do it. After I got finished DJing, the girl came and gave me $20. I said, what'd you give me $20 for? She said, you DJ at my party, I'm paying you. What? I've been doing this. I didn't know you get paid to do this. I can make money. And here 3 years later, I'm doing the same thing. But what I'm saying is, I got saved when I was 95, I got saved at 25. I had to pivot. Now I can't do the music I was doing before. Now I got to change to Christian music, which I didn't really know I could do that because I never been to a Christian party or nothing like that. So I was kind of nervous, but it's the same job. Christians like to hear music too, right? Yeah. So God had already set me on a course. Yes, I did take a job because I ain't got no money, but guess what? I still was focused on one day I'm going to be back full time. One day I'm going to be full-time back in music again. It took me 22 years to do it, but guess what? I was able to walk out and do my job for 22 years, and then I do 2 to 4 gigs every day. So,
y'all, it's okay. You told the story and we followed. But y'all, let's give it up for the world changers that are on this stage. Now we get a time to hear from the world changers that are in this audience. Yeah. And as you walk boldly into your purpose, please come to each side. We have the stands. We'll be taking Q&A at this time. So you can just come up and ask your question either for the group or you can direct it to an individual based on what you're looking for. Questions, Q&A. All right, and then when you come up, you can just say your name and then ask your question, please.
Yeah. Then once you use that mic.
Oh, okay. We're just doing a little pivot. That's all right. That's all right. At least you look good while doing this.
Okay. Hello, my name is Brianna.
Hey.
And my question is for the general staff or panel. What is something that you feel has brought you the most joy in your journey so far?
The thing that has brought me the most joy in my journey is, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but the thing that's brought me the most joy is being able to stand in a space and know it's not something that really can be measured by awards or accolades, but being able to stand in a space and know that at every moment I've given each space my best. That intrinsically means a lot to me. To know that when I stand somewhere, I was as honest as I could be. I was as strong as I could be. I was as vulnerable as I could be. I was as fly as I could be. I was as confident as I could be. I think there's a context, and the context that I want everybody to get is the as I could be. Yeah. And, you know, in each moment, I believe, and maybe this is crazy, I think we are all doing our best to be our best. And so I'm proud that when I look at every moment, even moments that I'm like, ugh, I wish I did better. Me saying I wish I did better is centered in the context that I did the best that I could. I was the best that I could be. So that makes me proud.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Do you have any other questions from the audience? Absolutely.
Since we have another question.
Yeah.
Oh, now we got one. I'm gonna ask her question too. With me, when I see someone achieve their goals, I mean, that does something to me. I mean, I really feel good. And when I'm teaching strategic planning, I set up baby goals, you know, and I'm sure.
This is your stage. You go ahead.
Baby goals is like I set you up to say, hey, make this 2 calls this week. And then I meet them the next time. Did you make the 2 calls? Yeah. So now the chest start coming out, right? And now when something major happened, they're not so quick to give up because they got all these wins. You know, we call it wins in my family. We say we get wins. And that gives me so much joy when I see someone else achieve their goals. I was just telling the young lady, Miss Michelle, I just met her, I was looking, someone, they do interviews and people talk about me in interviews. So they say, hey, such and such, we're talking about you. Now this guy met me when he was in 8th grade. And I'm 2 years, I did my own calculation. I said, ain't I'm 2 years older than him? This guy, he did a whole testimony. They said, how you meet Randy P? And he told them testimony how he met me. But at the end of his testimony, he said this, you know Randy P, he always liked to help people. I was like, what? I'm in the 10th grade. And that's the perception they had of me in the 10th grade of always wanting to help someone. And many, many years later, now, that's what I do. I help people, whether it's have a slamming party, whether it's helping their business achieve their goals. So I wanted to answer that question because that gives me joy. When I see someone having a good time at the party, I mean, I literally be walking around like this crying with you. People think I be jamming, but I be like, man, I got the best job in the world, boy. And it gives me joy, you know, and I'd love to help people. So I just want to say that, I want to get that out.
Absolutely, thank you. All right.
And another one, I say impact. You know, has it impacted I'll put it this way. Was the original intent done and the impact that you wanted it to make? That brings me joy to see the people empowered, to see the people leaving with substance, leaving with something tangible. So the impact would be what rewards me, you know, that makes me like, okay, my original intent was to empower these people and they left empowered. So I did what I was supposed to do. So just making sure that your original intent was done. So that's my little piece. Yeah.
Is this on? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Emily, and my question is, when you feel like you have been showing up for yourself, you're consistent, you're doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing because you planned, you've done it all, and you just don't see the results that it intended to be, you know, what keeps you going that you're like, I need to get this done for me to see the end? Or like, what keeps you going? Because it's like sometimes when you're like, I think I'm doing it, and I feel like I'm doing it, and I feel good right now, but I don't see the results. So like, what really keeps you going? Just even, just when you're doing it all right.
I would advise a perspective shift. You will get exhausted emotionally if your expectation is that everything that you're doing is going to be met with thunderous applause or visibility even. It's the whole idea of an iceberg. There is more under the ocean line than what people can see. And this is the name of the game. And it is not personal. It is something that we all go through. We blood, sweat, tears. Let me tell you something. I have a cold right now. A couple weeks ago, I had strep throat, still had to sing. I am planning, shows and doing a lot of things. There were all these things that kept happening, one thing after the next, after the next, after the next. And people will not see, they will never see all the times and the emotional pivots and psychological pivots and all the things I had to do in these creative spaces, balancing people's egos and trying to figure out, okay, how, people don't always see that. So I'll say to you, figure out, if it's one thing, figure out what mobilizes you. If it is going to be something as fleeting as people's seeing you, it might tear you apart. You gotta see yourself and love what you see. Fall in love with it, so much to the degree that nobody can tell you anything different. Be so convinced, so committed to what you see, that if somebody comes to you, even trusted sources, and they say, I think this about you. It's like, nope, I don't have any space or any allowance for that.
Yeah.
I don't. And let me say this also, I swear, and then I'm shutting up for the rest of the night.
That's the last one.
Many of us are taught to play small. And it's often like, be humble, right? And I think humility has its place. I think humility is amazing. We should practice being gracious, being humble, being kind. But we should never practice self-erasure. We should never practice walking into a room acting like we are ants and everybody else are giants. I'm not a grasshopper. I'm not. And none of us are. And so I think when you have that clarity about yourself, that keeps you moving one foot in front of the other. If they don't see, so what? There's an intrinsic value that you have that's keeping you moving forward.
Thank you. All right. Oh, yes, come on. I was like, I need some more questions out there. It's okay, we gotta relax. That's relax.
Hi, my name is Francisca, and one question that I have is, does purpose always come easy to you, or do you find that sometimes what you're called to do seems bigger than your own capabilities?
Oh, well. Oh, you gotta stand in that. You gotta come
I heard
back.
it, but you can say it again. I heard it though. No, everybody else need to hear it.
I was saying, does purpose always come easy to you, or does sometimes your purpose feel bigger than your own capabilities?
So I'm gonna start it off because I know everybody got an answer for this one. Purpose is not always easy. That's you meant for this. Put it in your mind. It's not even for Jesus. Jesus came to earth. He had a purpose. Yeah. It wasn't easy. He even said, "Look, Father, like, hey, man, take this off of me." You know what I mean? It wasn't easy, right? But he had a purpose. So it's not easy. But if you stay focused and committed to the purpose that you have or the business that you launch, then you will succeed. And kind of like, I want to say a little bit something about the question she asked too. One of the things I do is I say, every one no I get 10 yes. I keep that in my mind. When someone when I go out and get new leads and they say, no, we don't think we want to use you right now. Okay, I keep right on going because I'm going to get 10 more people going to say yes and to the one. That really happens.
I did. I think what he said, that was great. I would say, just remember that your purpose is never for you. I tell people all the time, I hate to be like extra spiritual and all of that, but your anointing is not for you. It's for to empower others. So I would say I taught a lesson maybe a year or so about the sacrifice of purpose. That's one of the dimensions of sacrifice, the sacrifice of purpose. So just know that, it's bigger than you, and tag you it. You got to do it. That's a part of sacrifice. You know that, and I tell people all the time. Everyone. I'm not sure if everyone in here is Christians or not, but that's one of the things. That we're called to as Christians: sacrifice. Everything in Scripture can be traced back to sacrifice. So if you ain't trying to sacrifice, you in the wrong religion. Sacrifice after sacrifice after. Everybody in Scripture, anybody that God used greatly, lived a life of sacrifice. Sacrifice after sacrifice. Jesus' very life was a sacrifice. Sacrifice. So if you ain't trying to sacrifice, I don't know what you're gonna do. Yes, we live in a sacrifice-based kingdom. Somebody say that we live in a sacrifice-based kingdom. Everything in the kingdom is about sacrifice, even your purpose. So, sacrifice.
All right, I got your sermon title, Sacrifice or Else. I'm just saying, just let me know. Credit me when you write it.
No, tag your head. That's my.
Oh, come on, it was a few lines in there, tag it. All right, we have another question, so it'll be our final question.
Can I answer the other one?
Absolutely.
You had said, what if your purpose is bigger than your capabilities? And then also, is purpose hard for you? So the part about, I'm just going to talk about bigger than capabilities. I am going to make it spiritual. We're going to talk about Moses, right? He was called to lead the people, called to speak before the king, before Pharaoh, but he had a speech impediment. He stuttered. He barely could talk, right? Could say anything. And he was the one that God called and said, no, you're going to lead my people out of Egypt, right? So then when you think about some of your, if you think you're called to do something, or you feel it. Sometimes there's that little voice in the back of your head, or that does something, you're like, no, that's not for me. I have this, I have that. And you're looking at your current circumstances, and you're kind of like saying, no, that's not for me. I can't do it. Usually that's what God is trying to send you to do, right? So, because I know a lot of people hear this saying, God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called, right? So then he qualified Moses. So his spirit took over Moses, and he was able to speak. He was able to conduct miracles. He was able to do all these different things, right? However, though, too, the part about your purpose, I used to hate that word, purpose, right? I felt like we would get lost in trying to figure out, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? If I feel I'm scared I'm gonna do the wrong thing, so that means I'm not doing my purpose. A lot of times we're gifted with a lot of things. Like we're gifted with a lot of capabilities, right? It's not just one gift you have. And I think we were blinded by the platform or by what's flashy. So we would come, I hear a lot of young people, sorry, I'm in youth ministry, so I'm really gonna tailor this to young folk. I'll hear young people say, you know, I can't sing, or I'm not a drummer, or I don't have no musical talent in my body, as if that's the only thing that God has called for the body. There's different parts to it. If you're a person who's kind or who's good at receiving people, making people feel welcome, you have the gift of hospitality. There's so many people who are on that stage that need to be more kind and gracious. But you're thinking that that's the only gift that's out there. And then we would think that, oh, if God doesn't show me any dream right now in front of me, then I don't know my purpose. But the main true purpose for all believers is to go out and make disciples, right? And just like how he said, you said something about the medium, right? Use your medium. Yeah. There's a medium in how you go and you spread the gospel. Whether that may be you're a worship leader, whether that may be you're someone in the marketplace, you're a creative, you're an engineer, you're a business person, you work in legal, law, you're helping those who can't help themselves. That within itself, you're completing your purpose, because even when you're at work, right? The Lord says, serve your employer like you're serving me. Yeah. So you already there are following God's precepts, what he wants for you, right? You're already spreading the gospel because you are being like Jesus. So whatever medium that you're in, you use that according to fulfill the main true purpose, which is to bring more people to him. So then is purpose hard? Yes, it's hard. A lot of times I run away from every single thing that God has made me do right now up until this point. He said sacrifice. I hate struggle. Okay. Hate struggle. I'm thinking about like artists, a struggling artist, struggling, Jesus. Thinking about like, whether that be a painter or whatever that may be. I was thinking about worship, right? In ministry, growing up and seeing like, yeah, my mom would go and lead and stuff, and she'd be going out ministering in different places and stuff, but we're not rich. Where's the money coming from? She still gotta go to work. Thought it was the pastor still working a side job. God, I'm not trying to struggle. But then I still would feel it like the Lord is calling you. You have anointing on your life. Your voice will cause others to be delivered. People will be healed. But I'm still like, no, running away from it all my life just to go college or high school. God is putting his hands on me again. He's like, no, you're gonna do this, right? So all the things that you run away from, I guess I'm trying to guide you, that's probably your purpose. The medium. And so let's replace purpose with the medium that God is trying to have you spread the gospel. I'm just gonna, sorry. And then, sorry, I'm Asian. You said bigger than yourself. I remember sometimes where, I think about Jonas too, oh my gosh, who kept running away, the prodigal prophet. The Lord was telling him, these are the things that you need to do. You need to go and declare this message. But he would try to run away. But God still put his hand on him. He made him get swallowed by a fish. And he said, no, you're going to go. Even if when he got swallowed, he still tried to run away when he got spit out. No, you're going to go and you're going to deliver this message to people. Elijah or Elisha, who's saying, God, take this burden away from me. Just kill me right now. So when you were talking about also when you're when you don't know if you want to keep on going, for me, the answer is I just need rest. Lord, please, I need to step away, because if I don't step away and you just give me energy, I'm going to give up right this instance. But I know I was graced for this. You increased my capacity to be able to handle all these different things that you have graced me to do, right? And there's going to be people too around you. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. There's people around you who's going to be like, you always doing this, you do this, you do that. Well, baby, I was graced for this. You were not. We have different anointings. Sometimes you have to check people for real. Because it's like because they're thinking small and playing small too, and they're not used to being around others who are walking in their purpose or serving the Christ through the mediums and the gifts and talents that he has given them. They play little, they play small, and then when they see someone actually walking it out, they try to diminish you. No, I was graced for this. And just like Meshach, Abednego, Daniel, all the people that was with him, in the word, God says he increased their capacity. He increased them so they were able to be more wise. They were able to learn more, learn all of the things in the kingdom. They learned everything. God increased their capacity so that they could handle the circumstances that were at hand. So ask the Lord to increase your capacity so that you can handle your purpose. And, well, the medium, I'm sorry, I keep saying purpose.
Oh, it's all right, interchange.
But, yeah, my whole life has just been on this word. What's my purpose? I don't know my purpose. Well, think about some of the things that you're good at, the things that come easy to you. 1, 2, what are also some of the things you're running away from? 3, look at the circumstances that you tend to see yourself in. Do you feel like you're the friend who attracts a lot of people who are just broken, hurting? You're like, oh my God, everybody is always so heavy around me. Why do they keep coming? Maybe you're graced to heal. Maybe that's your calling, right? So those are like the 3 things I would just evaluate. And then I'm thinking about, you never know, all of us are prophetic in a way, right? When the Lord deposits something, all of us are prophetic somewhere. I remember God gave me a vision of something. I'm looking at it, I'm like, how is little old me, who had such extreme stage fright, who by the grace of God now I can hold a mic and I'm not, can go and start this huge mass Christian movement of revival. How? But the thing is, that's the one good thing about God. He doesn't give you all the steps. He's just requiring your yes and sacrifice. It's a lot. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I give a 30-second response?
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds.
Okay, so in my 30 seconds, I just want to say this. I think I might have a slightly different opinion than what is
Shake up the table. Let's go.
I'm not trying to be divisive. I think that your purpose should come easy to you. It's an illusion that it doesn't. I think the illusion is when you factor in what people say you should do, what people say is right, and so you start considering all these other layers. And I think it seems like it's hard for us to walk in our purpose because there are all these other elements going on. And so I think my belief, like one of my kind of governing philosophies and maybe even theological perspectives is that what God gave to me is for me first. I give out of my overflow. For example, I sing, I do music. I write that stuff because it soothes the deepest broken places in me, right? I write and I sing because it soothes for me when I'm feeling anxious, all the things, I sing my way through it. I can't give to somebody else that if I can't give it to myself. So my perspective is, it probably comes incredibly easy, but there are all these other complicated layers that makes us feel like it's more difficult than it actually is. And so I think, in short, our purpose probably should be easy, but there are social dynamics, religious dynamics, all these things that start to kind of convolute, and it gets hard to really cut down to what it actually is. I think it was a little over 30 seconds.
It was. All right. Thank you. Thank y'all. Yes, sir.
Hi, y'all. My name is Albert.
Hey.
I'm a recent grad. I'm an engineer. Thank you. So my question is, I'm going to give a little context, and I'll repeat the question again. How do you keep yourself open to collaboration when you niche down as far as you can? It's my experience that you get to a certain point and a lot of the expertise and disciplines become blended. But as I strive to be the best me that I can be in a space, I'm asking the question, how do I keep myself open to collaboration when I niche down as far as I can? So.
Yeah, I can go. Sorry.
Whoever wants to go.
All right.
So I'm an AI marketing manager, so I currently work in tech. And a lot of the things that it's hard sometimes to actually communicate with engineers. So I'm not shade, but it's a certain, like when engineers know what they know and they've been doing it for a while, they tend to want to do it their exact way. but I'm already working in a space where we're revolutionizing whatever industry we're currently in. So we are the unicorn. So I've had to work with engineers who've been doing it for 40 plus years, and then engineers who just started out, fresh from the block. And it's like, the way you open collaboration is just questions. Asking questions, letting the person who's the actual user or who's the beta tester express their experience with the product. So for example, I'm someone who is in our product day to day. I can inform on what needs to be productized. So what process needs to be productized. I may not be able to communicate that in a language that an engineer will understand, but what the engineer's job is, and also the product manager, is to figure out how to communicate what my needs are or what I'm saying the product needs to have, and then the product manager communicates with the engineer on how technically is this possible or not, right? And then the way that I realize that now I can communicate with them is just by asking questions. We ask each other questions back and forth all the time. Like, you never know. It gets to a point where you think you've known everything, and then AI, you don't know anything. Like, people think they know AI, but we don't know. There's so much more to develop and explore. So I think you said niche down. What industry are you, what type of engineering?
Civil engineering.
Oh, okay, so bridges, railroads, okay. So I'm totally away from that type of engineering. Dang, I wish I could help you more. But I think my main thing is just questions. Like, the art of asking questions. I think that's looked down upon a lot, but the art of asking questions is because sometimes if you just keep asking why, the seventh why we've explored, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we don't know about the product or things that can be expounded on. So actually ask them 7 times why each question. I don't know. That's just...
No, I agree with that.
Can I ask you a question? When you said this, are you asking about this from a professional standpoint or from a personal standpoint? Are you saying, how do I maintain my identity, my view of self, how I view myself, how I contribute to this? How do I maintain that while collaborating with other people? Or are you saying, how do you collaborate with other people and I guess still respect your industry?
I think I see the separation. You're saying, like, personally, collaborating.
Like, do you feel personally accosted with collaboration, or do you feel like,
okay,
is this just a professional question?
It's very much a professional question.
Okay.
Like, I think professionally, because like personally, like, yeah, like, let's chop it up, it's fine. But like, personally, digging deep, I've found that the ability to like look back and still reach up or still reach back to help other people or to just like communicate in any capacity becomes more and more challenging the deeper into that hole I go. Yeah. So that's kind of the situation I'm facing right now, trying to navigate.
Yeah, I see that. I think maybe I wouldn't look at it like you're going deep into a hole. I think see it almost like a spider web, right? It's a network of people, a network of things, and everybody, if we are true, is incredibly sunk in and locked in and gripped to their particular niche. Everybody is. And so I think for me, I think it's probably just a change of perspective, and that perspective change is that you can still collaborate with other people and be as niche as you are, but it doesn't mean that you are going so deep that you can't collaborate with other people that might not be as deep as you are or maybe are deeper than you. But I also think it's just about remaining open-minded. Once you think you've discovered everything, you realize you've discovered nothing. And so I think that, if you keep that as an occupying principle, like right here in the front of your mind, I think it becomes a little bit easier and less accosting, whether it's personally or professionally, to collaborate with people.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say nothing because she had both of them. But I want to piggyback on what he said about the open-minded. Hold on, man. she knows you're going to work here. You have to, the first thing came to my mind was 2 is better than 1.
Okay.
And how that came to my mind is, normally I'm a strategic planning consultant, so every year, since I've been doing this for 10, 11 years now, every year I give symposiums. In the symposiums, I say, okay, group number 1, group number 2, you give all them your goals and you give all them the goals. And so they sit together as a group to do the goals. So I'm the leader, so I bounce around and I give my little couple goals. And it always amazes me of the solutions they come up to my problems. I'm supposed to be the expert. I'm supposed to be the DJ. I've been doing this all my life. They be like, hey, do you know about this? You know about AI? You know about, oh, I never heard of that. So you have to be open for growth. When you're collaborating with people, they may not know your industry like you know it, but that one idea they can give you can change your whole perspective on what you're doing. So just be open. 2 is better than 1. And that's what I want to share with that.
Did I agree?
No, I agree. And I was saying that's good. I mean, you preaching already. Listen, 2 is better than 1 when 2 or 3 are gathered. So I think it's. I'm Bible to the bone. So I'm sorry, you're gonna get some type of scripture. But I mean, I just piggyback on what they're saying. That's great. Collaboration is important. So just be open-minded, like you said, and always go in it, always thinking. What this relationship can build to get me to my next. So just come in it like that. And yeah, collab. I think you had to say something right now.
All right.
There's just an issue sometimes with being a SME, so a subject matter expert. And I get what you said by getting in a hole. You get so deep into your thing that it's hard to step out and be able to work with others. Or one tip I would say is learn another trade as well. Not learn another trade. Try to learn more about other industries. So where intersections occur. If you're in civil engineering, tap into how AI is working with civil engineering. You see, there's a girl on TikTok. She's like this fintech girl, right? But she explains all of these financial terms in the process of makeup so that women can understand financial literacy, right? So she knows that those words may be foreign to a lot of women. It shouldn't be, but it is. And so she uses another industry to communicate the same idea, but she's speaking a different language. So if you can learn other little, you don't have to become a subject matter expert in that other field, but just try to stay on top of it. Maybe read some articles, tap into, urban planning a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, yeah.
Thank you. Well, as we come to a close for tonight, y'all, I don't want to do a disservice to those who have poured out, not just sacrificed their time, their wisdom from what they have experienced and their knowledge. So I would love us to stand up and give a round of applause for our panelists tonight. Yes, we are honored to have had each of you. And this night would not be complete, y'all, if I did not welcome the founder and the CEO. I just feel led to say this, that there is a seed, time, and harvest. And I just believe that what you've put in the ground for this, the vision, the ideas that God has given you, you're going to see a harvest for generations, not just for you. And so we are here and so proud of you and honored to be a part. So we just want to welcome you to the stage.
Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. I just want to thank God, my Lord and Savior. Yeah, clap for him. I also want to thank our lovely panelists, and our hostess with the mostest, Miranda. I want to say thank you to the production team, all the industry professionals that came out tonight to speak to everyone, and you as participants that also came out tonight. I just want to, everybody can give yourself a hand clap. So I'll be brief, but I am the founder of, my name is Beaudeline Mesadieu, and I'm the founder of the J Block Experience. And tonight's not over yet. We do have one more session for network mixing. So you've already eaten, you've heard lovely wisdom from the panelists. So please don't leave here tonight without making a connection, because it's not just about what you know, but about who you know. So there could be a connection here tonight that could lead you, catapult you into the right direction you want to go to, that could align your vision. It might be the missing
the missing piece of the puzzle. So don't be afraid to talk to somebody that's in your industry or even outside your industry tonight. And yeah, thank you everybody for coming.